Hello, this is another, say, 15-20 minutes. It's a follow-on from session 4. So if you haven't warmed up, press pause because you need to be warm. Go and warm up or do Pilates session 4 and then come join me. Okay, it is Sarah Tagg here. Tagg Towers awaits yet another room for you, and we're warmed up and we're ready just to continue our Pilates session. So if anything feels wrong, if you don't feel right, stop right there. Go and make yourself a cup of tea. Do this when you do feel right. Okay, so a little bit more back and core strength. We're going to go into 4-point kneeling now. We're going to look at swimming in a different position. So we've done it in our prone position. And if you find this challenging for knees or for wrists or shoulders, then go into prone position, lying flat. Now what we're going to start with is looking at this frame in a sense, looking at the shoulders, looking at the arms. So we're going to start with the vision, with the head. We're going to look at this invisible line at the top of the fingertips. And once we're doing that, we're going to focus on that lovely long neck. We're going to draw the chin to the back of the neck. And then, chums, we're going to notice what's happening with these arms. Do we tend to do this? We're going to straighten through those arms, make these triceps work. Okay, I'm going to turn ever so slightly. Make these triceps work and then draw the shoulders away from the ears. See if you can lift this chest. Okay, quite often the chest is facing the knees. Lift this chest. Now, neutral spine. Watch what's going on here. Have a little movement. Find that position where that tail is sticking straight out behind you. Now we're going to tuck these toes underneath us and we're going to lift the knees a fraction off the floor. Now notice what happens if I do this. It becomes shoulders and something else. All we're doing is lifting them up as if you could slide a piece of paper under and nothing more. And then we're going to come back down. We're going to do one more, okay? Tighten that belt, slide that piece of paper under your knees and bring it down. Now just stretch out those shoulders. Good work, chums. Okay. Now, let's see if we can do a little bit of work for this upper back. Give the arms a rest. Let that forehead rest on the mat. And we're just going to take that rectangle position, but the elbows are ever so slightly below the shoulders. Now relax your bottom. Let it become jelly, but do not let that tummy dome into the mat. So draw that tummy button in. Relax the bottom. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Let's lift those forearms away from the floor. And breathing in, bring it down. Good. So, squeeze the shoulder blades together and down. And release. Good. Let's see if we can squeeze and release. We're going to do another 4 of these, guys. Squeeze and release. Good. And again, we're breathing out, keeping that bottom relaxed. Forehead's on the floor or on the towel or on your support. And then when we've done our 8, we're going to relax these arms down and keeping the shoulders as relaxed as possible. Just see if you can slide one elbow forwards, then draw that elbow back. Okay? So think in terms of sliding your elbow forwards rather than reaching with your hands. Good. Squeeze that elbow backwards. Slide that elbow forwards. Squeeze that elbow back. Slide that elbow forwards. Squeeze that elbow back. Now, let's see if we can put it together. Squeeze those forearms away from the floor. We're going to put that tennis ball underneath your fingertips. We're going to roll that ball forwards. We're going to squeeze that elbow back. Roll the ball forwards. Squeeze that elbow back. Did I just have a visitor? Both together. Roll, squeeze back. Roll and squeeze back, breathe in, keep that bottom absolutely relaxed. One more if you can, and then relax. Let's bring us into child's pose. Stretch out those shoulders, stretch out that upper back. Excellent work, chums. Excellent work. Okay, bring it back. Now, I'll have to duck so you can see me. All right, she says, what shall we do next? I wanted to do a bit more back. I wanted to do a little bit more core. But I think what we can do is come onto our back a little bit. So we started to do our roll down in the last one, really as a means for getting us onto the floor. So if we're not sure about this, we're going to stay with session 4's mini roll down. Knees are bent. We have that belt tightened, shoulders relaxed, and we're looking at just creating almost a C curve. My back's a bit stiff, so it's not the greatest to see it on, but if you imagine a C shape in your lower back and your hips, and then straightening up to a lovely, almost an L shape, but with that natural curve in the spine. Now, if we're feeling fruity, we're going to see if we can keep that belt-like muscle active. We're going to press each little segment of the spine down into the mat. So at the moment I've got my legs bent. I'm going to reach over my head. I'm going to breathe in. Now, I'm doing this in slow motion, so I may not get up. I am pushing my hands towards my knees, and at the magic point I'm going to breathe out, and I'm going to use my abdominals to peel this spine away from the mat. Now, if it's done a little bit faster, it's a lot easier, but we don't want momentum to completely take over. So I'm breathing out, tightening my belt as I breathe in, and then I'm going to speed up my arms, push my fingertips towards the knees, and I'm just going to, just like a beautiful swan, it's graceful. Good. Now, so these arms really help with the momentum. So as they come down, you're almost lifting the chest, but we're not lifting the chin. So keep that little orange between the chin and the chest. Now we could add a little spine stretch between each one. We can make it more challenging by straightening these legs. So we still have to press that lower spine down into the mat. Good. I've just curled up my mat beneath my toes. It's really annoying. But hey, that's what happens in real life. Hey. So, let's just try that again. It's about getting that position. So, tilt. Okay. Now you can draw the toes up. You can push them away. It's up to you. But it's got to be in control. Breathe in, breathe out, peel that spine away from the mat, shoulders relaxed, tighten that belt, breathe out. Good. And then we'll come all the way back. Excellent work, chums. That was really good work, really good work. So what we're going to try and do next is some circles with these legs. Now what I normally like to do is bend my knees, and I like to have a resistance band, but for those of you who don't need one, we're going to see if we can straighten this leg up. Oh, you can't see it. Let's see if we can do it like this. Okay, just pretend you can see my foot, okay? Now what we're going to do is straighten that leg as much as possible. Now this does make my leg look slightly bent, but if we can, we're going to avoid that, okay? So see if you can straighten out, put a pencil in your big toe, and we're going to draw 5 circles one way, and we're going to draw 5 circles the other way. Now remember, we can straighten out this leg. It makes it all a bit more challenging. Good, more challenging for balance, more challenging flexibility-wise, and then we're going to breathe out as we change direction. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So we can make those circles a little bit bigger if we're feeling quite fruity. Okay, so we've done one leg. Let's see if we can do the other leg. Now, this is the point where I tell you to quickly look away while I reach across and get the piece of equipment that I should have had right next to me. All right, almost knocked the camera on the floor. The resistance band. So, if you've got the flexibility of a gnat in your legs, very much like myself, I have to really work on it. So I do find putting my upper part of my foot into the resistance band really helps with this one, because I can really push against the resistance, particularly if I haven't done it for a while. And again, let's see if we can straighten that leg out. Choose the position of that supporting leg. Now remember that spirit level over your hip bones. I'm going to place the spirit level over those hip bones, and we want that red dot directly in the middle. We're going to breathe out. We're going to breathe in. Good. Breathe out. And in, then we'll change direction. Good. Just really like this, just to help me control it. I do like doing it without the band as well, because I do find I tend to cheat a little bit. But it's so lovely for hip mobility, for flexibility of these hamstrings. So I'm quite tempted just to hold that position for a bit, then see if I can draw it in, draw it in. Now if you haven't got the band, you can actually do this holding on here or here. Okay, good. I'm going to do it on the other leg. We didn't do it. Let's see if we can do it on the other leg. Oh, that's even stiffer than this one. Probably because I wasn't using the band. Good. Okay, see if you can draw it a little bit closer. Breathe out. Stimulate that sort of parasympathetic nervous system, which helps us relax. And we can do that by breathing out. Draw that leg a little bit closer. And then we'll release. Good work, everybody, she says, being totally tangled up in the band. Alright then, so I'm going to bring myself back onto the mat a little bit more. I'm just going to see if we can practice a little bit of abdominal work, but using this neutral spine position. So this is not a traditional sit-up. A traditional sit-up would be almost pressing that lower back into the floor, lifting the chest a long way. Now we've done enough of that doing our roll-ups. So as we get a little bit older, generally the density in our spine becomes less, and it starts to become a little bit detrimental to our physical health to be doing traditional sit-ups. So what we're going to do is strengthen here, but without putting pressure on our spine. So let's take that neutral spine position, knees are bent, feet at 12 o'clock. I'm hoping my feet are, they just look a bit odd on the camera, I think. And we're going to take one hand just supporting the back of the head. Now this is to stop us doing this. So I want us to keep that little orange between the chin and the chest. Draw the tummy button away from this hand, and we're going to see if we can lift your shoulder blades a fraction away from the mat. Hold and bring it back down. Good. So let's do that again, focusing on the breathing. Breathing in to prepare, squeeze, breathe out as we squeeze these abdominal muscles away from the hand. Lift the shoulder blades away from the mat, just a fraction. Breathe in to come down. Let's do that again. Breathe out, squeeze, hold it there, keep that long neck, and breathe in. To make it harder, we can bring both hands. Squeeze, good. Really draw that tummy button away from the waistband of the trousers, and down. You may find that a bit challenging, so try a different arm. Good for that shoulder flexibility. Squeeze, good. And we're going to just gently bring it down. Good. And squeeze. Now really draw in. We can use that pelvic floor. We can draw up. We can draw in and down. One more. Just don't do this. It's not an exercise for the neck. It's an exercise. You'll feel it here. Okay. Good. Just gently clear, slowly lower down. Good. Let's just ease off those abdominals a little bit. Ooh, fab. Fabuloso. All right, good work, guys. Okay, what we're going to do now, I'm just going to get you to either roll up or bring your hands here up to a sitting position. Now we can come into this cross-legged position, which, to be honest with you, doesn't come naturally to me. It really doesn't, but it's quite nice to practice it for flexibility of these ankles. Okay, so if that is no good for you, do not be afeared. I am just going to lift you up a little bit. Did that hurt? Did that hurt? I hope not. Good. All right, now, however you feel comfortable, what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can just do a little bit of flexibility for the shoulders and the neck. So I'm going to reach down that back, give yourself a little pat on the back, okay, little pat on the back, and then I'm going to see if I can just support this stretch. Somewhere between the elbow and the shoulder, we're just going to gently support. Now, let's see if we can look towards that shoulder. Gently, gently draw that head so we're looking towards the hip. And then gently allow that head to come back and release. Oh, it's not very comfortable off the mat. Oh, that's better. Okay, roll those shoulders. Okay, let's do the same on this side. Walk that hand over the shoulder. Gently support this shoulder stretch. Now this is where we're bringing in the neck. So we're going to look to the shoulder. Take this hand, now this is gentle, gently, gently draw, so we're looking towards the hip. Good. And we're going to release and roll those shoulders up and back. Now, let's bring ourselves into this hands and knee position. We're going to see if we can stretch out our hip flexors. So we're going to take one foot in front of us. So if you prefer to do this up here, that's fine. Okay, I'm not going to do that because I may just lose you. But we've got still the knees are hip width apart, the toes, front foot are facing 12 o'clock, and what we're looking for is a little bit of a stretch here. Now if I lift my chest but don't allow this back to arch, we're really increasing that stretch. If we then turn towards the bent leg, we're increasing that stretch further. Let's see if we can try it on the other side. Good. So it's always a little bit of a getting into position, but it's well worth it, this stretch. Okay, they get forgotten. And if we get a little bit more rain, you're going to be sitting down probably, I'm guessing, a little bit more, and these are going to be at constant tension. So let's stretch them out when we get the opportunity. All right, so let's lift that chest only if you feel comfortable. Don't arch that back. So imagine that little tail. Keep pushing that tail towards this knee. Okay, good. And then you can always turn towards this or just hold it at the point where you think that is enough. Good. Okay, let's stretch it out. Let's stretch those arms out. Breathe in, breathe out. See if we can stretch. Breathe in, breathe out. And we are done. That was lovely. I really enjoyed doing that second 20 minutes. Just feel sometimes we do the same thing as we're warming up and we don't actually get quite into the realms of some of the things we sometimes cover. So, friends, well done. Enjoy this video once, twice, never. If you're my dad, right, keep leaving lovely comments. It's really nice. And if you're not my dad, I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, everyone.